Hello children, today we are taking up our new chapter which is chapter number 11, looking after our resources. Children, as you know that we have studied different types of natural resources in the last chapter. These natural resources were forests and grasslands, wildlife, rocks, metals and non-metals, soil, fuel, air and water. In this chapter we will study about their looking after, means that how we can use them wisely so they will not run out of them in couple of years. Here the question arises that why should we conserve natural resources? So children, the answer is that nature provides all the basic needs which are necessary to us, but we are over exploiting or overusing these resources. If we go on over exploiting the nature, there will be no more resources available in the future. So there is an urgent need to conserve the nature, to maintain ecological balance for supporting life, to preserve different types of biodiversity, and to preserve the natural resource for the present and future generation. So in this chapter the first topic is fuels. Children, we know that we burn up huge amount of fuels every day to drive vehicles, run factories and make electricity. The problem is that nature took millions of years to form these fuels. So if we use them very fast, we may run out of them in a couple of 100 years. The one thing we should keep in our mind that we should use them very wisely. For example, we could turn off lights and fans when we do not need them. We could also turn off the gas burners when not needed and turn off the engines of vehicles at red light. Children, we can use other resources also, like sunlight, wind and water. These are some natural resources that will not get over. Besides, they do not cause pollution. We can use these resources instead of fuels. The energy of moving wind and flowing water can be used to make electricity. Solar cells can be used to make electricity. Solar cookers and solar heaters can be used for cooking and heating. Next topic is forest. Children, forests maintain the environmental balance in many ways. So we must be careful not to destroy them. You know, a lot of trees are cut down to make papers. So we can easily reduce the need of fresh supplies of trees by recycling old paper. You know, recycling means using the material of old things to make new things. Used paper, for example, is made into pulp in paper factories and new paper is made up of the pulp. Many things like metals, glass and some plastic can also be recycled. Recycling saves resources. Next is wildlife. The destruction of forests and the pollution of rivers and seas are some other threats. The hunting of wild animals for their skin, for tusks, horn and so on is one of the greatest threats of wildlife. India and many other countries have banned the hunting of wild animals. Anyone caught hunting can be punished. Another thing that many countries have done is to set up the wildlife parks and sanctuaries where animals are protected.
Soil. There are two ways in which soil gets harmed. One, it gets polluted by the waste we produce. Two, it gets eroded by wind and water. So, to manage the waste, we should reduce pollution by managing our waste in a better way. Waste that comes from animals and plants can be turned into compost with the help of natural decomposers present in the soil. We can do this by throwing such waste into a pit and covering it with soil. Compost can be mixed with soil to improve its fertility. For controlling the erosion, we can protect them by planting many plants. This is especially true of the hills. It is best to have mountain covered by trees. This also slows down the rush of water down mountain slopes and prevents flood. The best way to do this is to cut steps down the slopes so that soil washed off from one step and collect in the next. This kind of farming is called step farming. Air is one of the resources that will not get over, but it can get polluted. Breathing polluted air can lead to many respiratory diseases or diseases of the respiratory system. Polluted air can also harm plants and animals. So children, here question arises that what pollutes air? The burning of fuels inside vehicles, the burning of garbage, and fuels used for cooking also produces carbon dioxide, harmful gases and particles. Factories also release many harmful gases and particles of harmful solids into the air. Construction sites and mines pollute the air too. We can reduce air pollution by taking certain steps. 1. We can switch to fuels and engines that cause less pollution. 2. Walking, cycling, using public transport and forming carpools can reduce pollution. 3. Factories should be located far away from places where people live. 4. We should plant more trees because they absorb a lot of dust and other particles. Water. Though the supply of water keeps getting renewed by the rain, but still we have limited source of drinking water, so we need to be careful about it. Dealing with shortage of water is to stop wasting water. Simple steps like not leaving the tap on while brushing and mending leaking taps can save a lot of water. Another way to stop harvest or trap rainwater, a lot of rainwater runs off or flows off and is washed. If we store it, we can use it later. In many places, people let rainwater from their roof flow through pipes into covered tanks. This is called rooftop rainwater harvesting. To control water pollution, here are a few things we can do. 1. We must clean wastewater before letting it flow into water bodies. 2. We must not bathe, wash, clean animals or throw garbage in water bodies. 3. We must not let garbage lie around on land. So children, I hope this way you will take care of your natural resources and your environment. Stay safe, stay healthy. See you soon.